state of Florida. He's not going to invite him to the Elite 11. I don't understand why. Not going to take any quarterback from the state of Florida for that matter, and I think that's wrong. But he, this year, to us, is going to be a kid that we're going to let call plays. He has a green line on audibles. He's a real intelligent kid. Justin Davis is moving into the slot, and I think that's going to be a good position for him. What you brought up earlier about as far as teams of speed, you're right. I mean, that's been a problem. However, I think this year's receiving core is probably the best we've ever had. I think they're the type of guys that can run with some speed guys, and they're physical at the same time. Last year we had some guys that five flats and that type of thing, but they were effective, ran good routes, that type of thing. Spoto, my question for them is, I go to depth. I think depth to me is one of the biggest things I think determines games, because if you have to have a lot of kids play both ways, i.e. a Lato, a Sickles, places like that I know we play in year out, they get worn down by the late third to fourth quarter, and you can win a ball game in that time period right there. It could be a dogfight the whole way through, and if they're having guys going, they're going both ways.
They don't have a lot of guys go both ways.
They don't have a lot of guys. See, I don't know much about Spoto, so
other than Rodney Williams, they may have one or two. I think they had a receiver that was a DB last year, number 25.
Right.
Or 12, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember the number, but I know they had one, and they had Rodney Williams, and Rodney is not even a full-time two-way player. It's kind of like when they need a horse, they put him over there. So, I sit there and I listen at all the arguments on the thing. They don't play this school, they don't play that school. I think when you say they don't play these schools, how many schools in Hillsborough County has actually called them to play them? Which I think very few. I seen something that might have been on your...
That's not going to happen with the way that the scheduling is done.
We don't get to pick.
Well, I meant...
Like a spring game
or a spring game or a classic game or...
Well, then I think that knocks out the whole argument.
Yeah,
where somebody says on there that Tampa Catholic don't play the Hillsborough County, and I'm assuming public schools. If the public schools can't pick and choose to play them.
I agree, but more so my argument would be if they want to consider themselves better than Jesuit, they got to beat Jesuit first. They haven't beaten Jesuit in one time out of the last 10 years.
Right. Who does play the county?
So,
and I also want to
there's no doubt that they're talented, and every recruiter that I talked to that's came through my office this past spring, just like the rest of y'all, I asked about who they've been to see.
But would you say Robinson is better than the Tampa Catholic?
I would.
You would?
Yeah.
I think they have, what we were just talking about, depth. I think they have better depth.
Now, Robinson beat Jesuit last year.
Right.
But they still was.
I think Robinson this year is not.
Robinson's not anything like they were last year. I think they're much improved.
Oh, I know that, but my only problem is I look there and I see all the arguments about they don't play county teams, they don't do this, they don't do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a valid argument.
These are my arguments against Tampa Catholic. Number one, quality wins last year. They beat Jacksonville Trinity Christian. Other than that, I don't really see any quality wins that they got. And then their spring game, they struggle with a Mulberry team. They just went through a coaching change. I think you have to rank Robinson ahead of Jefferson right now, in my opinion.
I was at that jamboree, and
Jefferson's talented, and
Robinson was very impressive. I seen him last year.
Are they top 10 argument?
Robinson?
Yeah, I think they're
Robinson.
Yeah. Are they top 10 argument?
I think so.
I think I would say lower to the
out of 4 teams left, out of the
4 teams left,
they should be up there.
If they can keep what they got now.
Middleton's probably top 10
also.
also.
Be a top 10 team because of the schedule and the athletes they have, and they got a coach that I think is going to get those kids all going.
And if we look at their schedule, their schedule is
Lato, King, Middleton, Jesuit, Newsom, St. Pete Catholic, who's down, Leonard, Steinbrenner, Strawberry Crest, and Plant.
Basically 2 new schools, 3 new schools. Leonard very new.
You guys, there's 6 kids on this top 75 from GC.
Yeah,
that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I think they do need to be set. I think that we're talking about their schedule hurting them. I think that in this argument of being in the top 10, it helps them because
Because
They're not
should
going to
win
lose
out.
to these people.
Right.
They shouldn't lose to
Right.
these people. So I think in
I mean,
reality, it really does.
Do they play
help.
Ocala
Let's say
Trinity
if
Catholic
they
this year
if
again?
Newsome, the two teams we're just considering right now,
Right,
if
play each
Newsome
other.
they played each other, right? If TC and
I
Newsome
don't
played
know
each other,
about Newsom, to tell you, 'cause I don't-
you know, I say Newsome wins that game.
I say Newsom lose because Newsom lose to anybody that got some speed and talent at quarterback, and I think TC has that with Christian Green.
Freedom looked very impressive in the spring. Maybe not defensively. I think they're a little bit behind there. But their offense has some talent with it.
All right. Well,
I think now you're in the argument of Jefferson, Wharton, Middleton, Freedom. Those are the teams that would be in the consideration for 9 and 10 spots.
Jefferson played this year.
Same people supposed to play. You know, I
Always
think,
like
Yeah, they are disciplined.
So,
probably besides losing, Jones and Clifford, which is a lot, I think losing Jones more so than Clifford hurts them.
yeah, exactly. Because they're just play action and three-step drop in their passing game.
are they ahead of? Is Jefferson the next group after that? After Ward? Or
Is
they
Jefferson a top 10 team?
But I still think they're a top 10 team. I mean, I understand they lost in the jamboree, but I mean, that's something that
How'd
could
they end the
easily.
season last year?
Jefferson.
It's 6 and 5 is what this says.
And it's 65.
So they had to go 6 and 4, and they're 0-1 in the playoffs.
How did that tail end of the
But I mean, the
season?
4 teams they lost to is probably Armwood, Plant.
They beat Middleton.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
they probably lost to.
No, they lost to Hillsborough
Okay, they lost to Armwood, Plant, Hillsborough, and Chamberlain.
and Chamberlain.
Right, but they lost to Chamberlain, lost to Plant, correct?
So they're definitely competitive.
So they lost to 4 teams that pretty much anybody in the county would have lost to.
Right.
And then they played Southeast very tough on the road in the playoffs. So I mean, I still think I still think they may be number 10. At 9, I would say Warden.
Now, if you do that, you rank them ahead of a Robinson team that slapped on them in the spring.
Right.
Now, it's a spring game. No, it's a spring game. And Robinson,
Well, Robinson's still
I
going to be
previously
a top
ranked
15
Robinson
team.
in my
They're
argument
still going to
earlier,
be
so
top 15, and then they always have the potential to move up
I'm
based
just
on
being
what they do in
devil's
the
advocate,
season.
throwing it out there.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I said it was 20. Well, I'm looking at this thing here, and I don't know how many schools this is on here. From
Yeah.
Hillsborough County last year, 27 maybe?
You have 27 from last year.
Okay, 27 from last year. It was only 11 winning seasons on here.
that game, who knows what Jefferson,
Right.
comes back and, who knows.
Yeah, after making adjustments.
Yeah. I think they're just
Yeah, I
outside.
think you probably go Jefferson 10, and then I'd like to make an argument for Robinson 11.
Yeah.
Robinson 11. You got Freedom on the board also.
Yeah, you got Freedom and you got Middleton still also.
What's the fascination with Freedom?
I think
think
Freedom
he's
got as
good
much.
athletes.
I think Freedom got as much talent as. I think they're. If you've ever seen them play, I think they just never. They just have not put it together.
I mean, they're gonna have problems with even like a team in Middleton is gonna give them problems. A team like Robinson with athletes is gonna give them problems. Jefferson would definitely, give them problems. Look at their. I'm trying to see. Do we have their schedule?
Who's that?
We don't have Jesuits.
I don't have Jesuits
Okay.
yet.
Well, I mean, we do.
You
know
could
that-
pound it right
we know
at your
their
offense
district.
would pound it right at them, and I
No, I
don't
know
think it would stop
Spoto
a
blew them
thing.
out
Yeah.
last year, and Spoto and us from the Super